All right, Gemma. Basically, 3-day running program. I'll do a very quick overview of everything. This is going to run for 12 weeks, but you'll be able to obviously watch it all at the start if you want. We go back, watch each individual like 3 or 4 week sort of segment, and you can then go from there. I'll quickly jump across here. We're doing this to try and get you more aware of your running. Not necessarily technique at the moment, but I guess formats or different styles. And the other thing is just prep for the half marathon. This is the complete 12 weeks. Basically, like I spoke to you about, we'll do 3 weeks of very similar program design. Then we can drop back for a week, and then another 3 weeks are very similar. That's just going to increase the distance compared to the first 3 weeks by about 5 to 10%, which is nothing really. And then we'll deload a little again, and then we'll step up again. Shouldn't be overall massively hard, but we'll start working you towards longer distance volume, more or less in a safer manner, so you're not getting injuries along the way is my main concern. It's not the fastest way to get you to running a half marathon in a good time, but it's definitely one of the safest. Right, so like I said, you can obviously only watch parts of these and come back at the very end. I have a table overview so you can see a better layout, but I'll break these down for you. So looking at this first 4 weeks, first 3 weeks, we're roughly hitting 22.5 Ks per week each. Week 1, 2, and 3. Week 4, we'll drop it back to about 12 Ks. And the way it's broken up, you have your Saturday long run, you're still your 10K. We want to try and hit that, say, a 5 out of 10 intensity. So still try and make that reasonably easy. I don't want you to feel like you're dead after that. If you can, I know you do that with a group, right? As far as roughly 48 hours worth of rest, it can be longer, it can be 72, but just as long as it's not necessarily the next morning, it can be the morning after that, that'll be fine. We need a reasonably moderate hills sort of running course, so nothing outrageous, nothing with super sharp hills or anything like that, or sharp downhills, just as long as it's not a flat course. And we're going to hit a 5K. You could hit this at the exact same running speed that you hit the 10K, and hopefully the hills will bump us up to feeling like it's a 7 out of 10. And that's just getting prepared for if the half marathon course is not a flat one. So keep that in mind. Doesn't need to be fast here. The hills will bump up the heart rate and the intensity for you. Then sort of your hardest one of the week will be another 48 hours away. And we want this roughly 72 hours before you do the next long run. So roughly 7.5 Ks. Now this is including warm up and cool down, and because we're doing intervals, it'll include the walking or jogging rest periods, right? Basically a 9 out of 10, or as hard as this can be. So that means on the run intervals, you get health lower, and then if you've smoked yourself and you have to walk, then you have to walk. If you haven't smoked yourself and you want to jog, then you can jog and run fast, jog and run fast. I won't care too much about it as long as we're getting some fast work in and some slow work to help recover, so you get more fast work in. We'll go through what these look like towards the end. And then on the 4th week of this first block, Saturday, still do your 10K, nothing changes. On 2 days later, instead of doing a hills course, we want you to do basically almost like a 2K time trial. So it can go back to a flat course, it doesn't matter for this week, but try and run 2Ks reasonably fast, and just see what speed you could get for 2Ks, or what time, sorry, not speed. Preferably do something to warm up before you go out and get there, get after the 2K, but it doesn't necessarily need to be running. So I don't know, if you've got a bike at home or you ride that, or it's any dynamic sort of warm-ups and whatnot, just do that before you go out and run helpful leather. Alright, so the middle block of these 12 weeks, the format's still the same. You still have a long run, you still have a hill section, you still have an interval. The only thing that's changing, your long run's going to go up to 11Ks. Now, I know your group runs 10Ks, so see if you can sneak in an extra K either after them or before them, whatever you want to do. Not fast, but we want an extra 1K. That can also be a double day if you want. So if you just ran the 10K with them in the morning, you went back to bed, and then later in the afternoon, you just went for a 1K jog, it's still that easy pace to sneak in that volume. I'm happy to get 11Ks on that day. The hills bump up to 6K instead of 5 for these 3 weeks, and we're going to hit 8.5Ks as well, where I believe, 7.5, so there's an extra K in these intervals too. All right, and we'll see this, we go back on the deload week, 10Ks on your Saturday, now 3Ks at a fast pace on the, say, Tuesday or whatever you want to do it on. It doesn't really matter in the deload week as long as there's at least 48 hours and you've got at least 72 hours before the Saturday run. So fit it in wherever you want on those weeks. Last block, again, looking real similar. Sorry, I should have showed you the total volumes. We're up to 27.5 Ks for these 3 weeks and down to 13 for this week. And again, style of runs doesn't really change. We're just trying to get 12Ks on the Saturday. Again, 10Ks with the group, 2Ks in the afternoon or something if you wish. These hill runs have gone up to 7 and 9.5 on the interval days. Again, it will include warm-up, cool-down, and your walking and recovery distance will go up, so don't stress too much about that being 9.5 at a real heavy. 10Ks here, still with the group. Then on this threshold day during like your deload week, you're looking at 3Ks at a fast time. Those thresholds don't have to be maximum time, but you want to feel like you're moving quickly if we can. Here is the table overview, which might make more sense of everything, but you can see your run ones, your long ones, so we can see these distance change for blocks 2 and 3. More or less everything else is the same, still at 10Ks on Saturday. Run 2 your hill ones. On the blocks, we can see it goes from 5 to 6 to 7. On the thresholds, on those deloads, it is 2K, and then 3K, and 3K again. Don't really want you pushing more than that on the deload day. These intervals are only on the blocks as well, not on the deloads, but first one, 1K warm-up, 200 meters at a fast pace, 400 meters walk, jog, doing that 10 times with a 500 meter cool down at the end. Right, so cool down at the end can be a walk as well, don't really care. Just don't get straight in the car and drive home, or don't lie down and do nothing, more or less. And then we'll see it bumps up by 50 meters here and by 50 meters again. So need to be almost as fast as you can go for that pace without it being a sprint, for that distance, sorry. See how you go with these. If we get them right, they should be super taxing. If it's not enough distance, then we can work something out there. Or if you're not feeling like you can do enough fitness-wise or fatigue-wise during that period, we might have to go run fast and then jog during the recovery instead of walk. But yeah, I'll touch base with you, and you can use this to reflect or refer back to each time.